Alrighty, welcome to the stream. It is Friday night. I'm hoping to go a little bit longer like I usually do on Friday nights, but I am super tired. I was up very, very early this morning to get to work, and it was a lot of work at work today. So I'm quite tired, so we'll go as long as I can. We've got two whole new teams this Friday. The first team is a Dachsbun team, since I seem to have so much trouble with Dachsbun when we do these streams. I decided to fight fire with fire and use it myself. So I went and looked for an interesting Dachsbun team that kind of stood out to me, and I did actually find one from CozyCowgirl, and I've got her information in the description. And I went with her team because she had a Breloom on it, and I absolutely love Breloom, and I want to use it. So I went with her setup. Downside to her team, though, is that she didn't have a pokepaste available, so I kind of had a guess as to what was really going on with the team. So it may not be the same, it might be pretty similar, but I did make a few tweaks here and there. But I hope it works out. And then the second team that we have is a Howlcanine and Azumarill build. I did do a little bit of changes too with that one. That team was from Scooteezy, and I've got his information linked below as well. And one big thing that I did change with that is I changed Azumarill's moves a little bit, and I decided to put Facade on its moves, mostly to kind of round it out, as I had two other ice spinners on the team, and the way he had it set up, he also had ice spinner on Azumarill, which is a great move, but I already had two, and I figured three was kind of overkill. So I kind of struggled to find a move to put on Azumarill, since it really suffers from shallow move pool syndrome. And I saw that it could do Facade, so I was like, perfect. That is great for a physical sweeper, so at least I'll have one attack that's completely unaffected by the burn and actually doubles in effectiveness. So assuming we don't have any ghosts that burn us, we should really put the hurt on things with Azumarill. So I'm actually really excited to start that team, but we are going to start off with our Dachsbun team first. So let's get into it. And the way this team is set up too, I actually looked at this team and I thought to myself, I could make a sun team out of this by putting Sunny Day on Talonflame and running a sun team. But I really struggled to find a really good way to set up sun and have everybody thrive equally. So I eventually decided against it and just went with kind of a more similar layout to what CozyCowgirl had set up. But let's go ahead and lead into it. And I do really like this team for a number of reasons. It is fairly tanky and very supportive of each other. So I don't need to... I'm not going to be locked into like a core of 3 or a core of 2 that operate really independently of the other team members. They all kind of work together. Although the main core of this team, of course, is Chi-Yu and Dachsbun. But the other four do work very well with Dachsbun or with Chi-Yu or with each other really, really well. So there is a lot of team synergy here that I am looking forward to. The only thing that I'm maybe worried about is, again, this team might be a little bit too defensive, and I've maybe sacrificed a bit too much offense for defense, but we'll see how it goes. Alrighty, so we've got Quackavoll. Haven't seen him in a VGC battle yet. Screamtail, Tinglu, Corviknight, Fluttermane, and Hydreigon. Haven't seen Hydreigon either. So, very interesting team. Super heavy on the special attack. Well, assuming Screamtail is special. It can go either way, really. And Quackavoll is a physical sweeper. Once it sets up those Moxie stats, yeah, it's kind of hard to get rid of. But I'm not quite sure what he's going to lead here. He might lead with Quackavoll and Tinglu, or Quackavoll and Screamtail. Not 100% sure yet. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to lead safely. I'm going to go ahead and go in with our Grimmsnarl and our Breloom, and I'm actually gonna leave out the Dachsbun and Chi-Yu. I'm gonna bring these two in the back. Biggest reason being is that Chi-Yu really does not want to fight a water type, especially one that's as beefy as Quackavoll, and especially not anything that would resist it or anything like that. But is what shiny? I just saw the message, I'm sorry. All of my team members are shiny except for the legendaries, which cannot be shiny. I hunt these for every single night that I do streaming. I'm gonna go ahead and put up a Reflect, just to maybe avoid a Brave Bird coming out of Corviknight here. No, I'm gonna go ahead and Fake Out onto the Corviknight. And we are going to Bullet Seed into the Screamtail. Dazzling Gleam goes out. Breloom. Okay, Breloom does live. Breloom is fairly frail, so that was not quite as much damage as I thought it was going to be. Still a good amount of damage for Breloom, but I actually thought it would kill. Okay, we hit 4 times. I know that we're going to probably take another Dazzling Gleam, and it's probably going to take Breloom out because that's just under half, but I'm actually going to go ahead and Spore I'm going to Spore the Corviknight, just in case. I kind of don't want Corviknight to set up anything, like Tailwind or anything like that. So, nope, Breloom doesn't live. Okay. Iron Hit comes out and takes out Grimmsnarl. Alright. So we do have a Reflect up, but we don't have Light Screen, so we want to take out this Screamtail as fast as possible. So I'm actually going to Terra here, just to protect Great Tusk as much as possible, and want to go for a Headlong Rush just yet. I'm going to go for... I'm going to go for an Earthquake. And we are going to Tailwind. I think what I have to do is I have to set up better for Breloom to really do anything just because of how frail it is. And I didn't really do that very well with Grimmsnarl. It really needs that Tailwind support. Alright, we are locked into Tailwind, so that's great for us. Brave Bird, not a whole lot of damage. And when I was setting up this team too, I also kind of struggled with what item to give Great Tusk for it to be really effective. And I was really coming up short with anything. And the way the original team was set up was with a Focus Sash. So I just put a Focus Sash on it, but it's fairly defensive in its EV spread and having the Steel Terra. So I kind of thought that was a little bit useless. And as we see with how little damage we just took from that Iron Head, it kind of is. So I don't know. I wasn't real too sure what to put on it. I guess I could have put a Lumberry on it. Not too sure. But we're probably going to see a Body Press come out of here. And that Body Press is probably going to hurt with that Helping Hand. Oh, Terra Blast. We still have Screams though. It still hurt a lot. Yeah, I don't think we're winning this one. Our Talonflame is completely gimped, and our only source of damage is one hit away from death. And we've only taken out one of the enemies. So don't think we're going to win this one. I think I started a little bit too slow. So that's unfortunate, but it is what it is. That, and I was kind of banking on the Corviknight being the support and the Screamtail being the damage, which was not the case. I'm actually surprised that didn't kill. But I'm going to go ahead and just leave the battle here and just get to the next one. Probably not going to do a whole lot to Talonflame. Not much at all. Run. Yes. Let's get into the next one. I was kind of surprised by that opener too, because with Chiyu and Dachsbun on my team, I mean, it's maybe not fairly obvious, but kind of obvious, like what my shtick is with this team. So I really expected him to open with Quackleval. That would have been a really easy Aqua Step knockout for him. So that was what I was kind of expecting at the beginning there. Certainly not the two that he brought out. Alright, so we got Chien-Pao, Palafin, Amoonguss, Fluttermane, Barraskewda and Pelipper. So this is a rain team. So we're probably going to see Pelipper and Barraskewda come out the gate right away. I do wonder, though, if Breloom has enough bulk on it to survive a hit from Barraskewda. Not too sure. But again, I don't think it's super wise to lead with Dachsbun Chi-Yu this battle. He's got 3 very threatening water types on his team. So I'm gonna lead with kind of the same setup. Get these guys in there. Do I want to bring Great Tusk? Yeah, we're going to bring the exact same setup. But I think this time around, what I want to do is, once I set up screens with Grimmsnarl, is switch out to Talonflame and get a Tailwind up as soon as possible. Fluttermane and Pelipper. Okay. Pelipper is going to drizzle. Fluttermane is going to do Fluttermane stuff. I'm actually going to Spore onto the Fluttermane slot. I kind of expect him to switch out. Not 100% sure, though. Because he could keep Fluttermane in there and just go for a Dazzling Gleam or a Moonblast right onto Breloom. Which is kind of what I would do. And maybe go for a knockoff with Pelipper. But I'm going to Spore onto that slot. And I am going to forego doing the Fake Out here. And put up a light screen wider. You know what? No. If they double into Breloom, then I'm kind of boned. Damn it. So it's probably going to Fake Out into Fluttermane, which is great. But in comes Talonflame. Oh, cool. It did a Fake Out into Pelipper. Okay, Taunt comes out. We are going to set up a Tailwind. And I am going to switch out, actually. I'm going to send in Great Tusk, just because I want to preserve Breloom for as long as possible. I really want to take out that Barraskewda if it becomes a problem. And I don't think Great Tusk is going to be a great answer to that. Probably going to also see a Tailwind, if not knockoff, from Pelipper. Talonflame goes down. Soak. Alright. That's kind of okay, because, to be honest, I was probably going to Terra with Great Tusk and get that resistance up. But we're going to send out Grimmsnarl. I really want to get that screen up. No, actually. So Shiny Hunting is a lot easier in this generation, in that you don't have to commit like hours upon hours or days upon weeks upon months to effectively Shiny Hunt. Like the base odds are 1 in 4,000, which sounds terrible. But once you factor in things like mass outbreaks, Mossydametha breeding, Shiny Charm, and sandwiches, you can get that chance all the way down to 512. And because... Oh, did I not... Whoops. You can get that all the way down to 1 in 512, which, again, still doesn't sound great, but when you realize that you can see shinies in the overworld, and you can just essentially encounter 30, 40 Pokemon at a time out and about in the wild, it really makes shiny hunting far less difficult. Grimmsnarl definitely going to go down this turn, and I am actually going to go for a Terra, and I'm going to go for a basically the same thing. Going to go for a Headlong Rush into Barraskewda, but so you can reduce it down quite a bit, and the shiny that you find naturally and organically isn't going to have great IVs unless you Masada method breed it, and even then you're going to still have at least one random IV that just comes out totally. And he went Terra Electric, that's great, and we went for Headlong Rush. But anyway, what I was saying. The IVs are kind of irrelevant because there's a mechanic called bottle capping, and you collect bottle caps, or in this game you buy them, and you just go to an NPC, give him the bottle caps, and he makes it so that you treat the stat as if it were 31. It's still only the natural number that it is. So, like, if I have, like, this Grimmsnarl, for example, let's say his attack IV is 12. I can go to this NPC, give him a bottle cap, and this NPC will say, okay, he's trained up. And Grimmsnarl will act and do damage as if his attack IV is 31, which is the maximum. But if I go to breed Grimmsnarl, he's going to pass down his natural 12. Because that's what his actual IV is. The bottle cap just artificially, like, raises it as if it were higher. Does that make sense? And I'm 99.99% sure we don't have the damage to 1v3, but whatever. Pelipper comes out. Bullet Seed probably isn't going to knock out unless we get a couple of lucky crits. Well, maybe it will. But the amount of damage that Fluttermane does, even with screens up, is kind of ridiculous. Yeah, that's with a screen up, and it's still one-shot. And it's not spec'd. Crazy amounts of damage. But I'm kind of not feeling this team. But our enemy teams have been very hard counters to Chi-Yu and Dachsbun, like very, very hard counters to them, making me really reluctant to bring them at all. So, I don't know. If this next team isn't great for Chi-Yu Dachsbun, then we're probably gonna move on to Team 2, just because maybe this team is just a little bit too niche. But yeah, I do like that the other four outside of Chi-Yu and Dachsbun do have a good amount of synergy, but Breloom just doesn't have the damage. It doesn't have the speed that it really needs. Even with Tailwind support, it's just not there. And almost every single time that I've brought Great Tusk to pretty much anything, I've been extraordinarily disappointed with the amount of damage that it does. So I don't think I would really bring it. Oh, was that mine? Error or? Huh. Anyway, so Great Tusk. I've never really been impressed with anything that it does. So I probably won't be building any more teams with it on it, and if it does have it on it, I'm going to find a replacement for it. I was kind of excited to use this Breloom, but this Breloom just isn't really working for me. Alright, so Kilowattrel, Baxcalibur, Glamora, Fluttermane, Palafin, and Annihilate. We're just going to do it. We're going to go hard on the offensive right away. I'm not going to bring in Breloom. I'm going to bring in Great Tusk and Talonflame. But kind of going back on what you were saying, Jess, earlier about the shinies, I go in and hunt my own shinies to bring into VGC when I want to emulate a team. Of course, I can't do that with the legendaries because they're totally locked. But I also nickname them, and I didn't bother nicknaming the legendaries. Like you can see down here, where it says Chi-Yu, that's its actual name. And I forgot to name Dachsbun. So, but we're gonna go for a Lava Plume, and I'm going to go ahead and Terra here just to avoid any poison damage from Glamora. And we're going to Psychic Fangs into it to put some super effective damage on it. I do kind of want it to go away as soon as possible because it will drop Toxic Spikes on the ground, which will not be great for Great Tusk coming in. And because it's ground-based move, Talonflame will be completely immune to it, so I'm not super duper worried about Glamora's spikes. Okay, we get the defense boost. We nearly get a one-hit KO on Kilowattrel, which is great. Glamora does not go down. This Glamora is tanky. Chi-Yu is not looking so hot, but that's okay. I'm going to try and get another Lava Plume off. Our sash is broken. Well, he's not sashed. He's life orbed. But we are going to go for a body press. Well, no. I'm going to go for a Snarl, just to hit them both. Oh, Chi-Yu did live. Okay, I was really expecting him to not be alive. Okay. I kind of wish we hadn't gone for a Snarl there then, because then I could have gotten the KO on Glamora. Okay, Chi-Yu goes down. And we are going to swap in Talonflame to avoid the poison spikes and set up our own Tailwind so that we can outspeed Glamora. Assuming that Annihilate doesn't have Mach Punch on it. That would kind of suck. And pretty much anything is kind of overkill, so I'm just going to go for a Psychic Fangs into Glamora. Wow, okay. Still faster than us. and a power gem. That's going to hurt a lot. So, yeah, really not feeling this team. I don't think this one's for me. I'm just going to go ahead and exit the fight here. Again, super not impressed with Great Tusk at any point on any team that it's been on, so I don't really trust it to really do anything productive. Okay, so we are going to switch teams. We're going to go to Howlcanine Howl. It is a little bit more meta. It does have a bit more of a meta style to it, aside from the Azumarill, which you don't see too often. Switch battle teams. So we do drop down to rank 8. And again, that sand team that I was just hemming and hawing about. Still don't know what I want to do with it. Alright, so on team 2 we have Chien-Pao, we have Amoonguss, Howlcanine, Fluttermane, Dragonite, and of course Azumarill. Kind of the main idea is that we send Azumarill and Howlcanine out in together. Howlcanine will howl, and Azumarill will use its huge power ability to just deal a significant amount of damage to enemy Pokemon. This Howlcanine also has Will-O-Wisp on it, so we can intentionally burn our own Azumarill and get that Facade to really power up. I don't think I'm going to do that unless I really have to, like, avoid a spore or something like that. I do know that somebody in one of the regionals... Was it a regionals meet? I'm not sure. But one of the competitive players very recently... in an official tournament, burned his own Pokemon to avoid a spore, and it worked out really well for him. So, it's not completely unheard of. Alright, let's see what we get. Alright. Maybe a rain team? Maybe not. But Gyarados, Glamora, Goodra, Surledge, Roaring Moon, and Chien-Pao. I'm gonna immediately lead off with Howlcanine and Azumarill. I'm going to bring Chien-Pao in the back in case Howlcanine goes down, or I want to switch out for Howlcanine and get Chien-Pao's defense dropping aura. And I think what I will do is that I'm going to bring in... a lot of them are fairly fast, so I'm going to bring in Dragonite here. Probably would have brought in Fluttermane, but I don't know. I think Dragonite is the safer option. Even though they're kind of set up almost identically. One's just physical, one's just special. But they are locked into their attacks with Choice Specs and Choice Band. Glamora and Chien-Pao. Okay. I'm going to go for a Will-O-Wisp into Chien-Pao, and I'm actually going to swap out... kind of expecting a poison attack from Glamora. Immortal Spin. I'm going to swap out for Dragonite. Dragonite is multi-scale, so unless he, like, focuses into Azumarill really hard, it hits with a really hard ice attack, pretty sure Dragonite will live. Next time Cow goes for a Protect. So that does block our Will-O-Wisp. And okay. So that is going to poison us. Kind of sucks because now that my my multi-scale is broken, then any kind of ice attack from Chien-Pao is definitely going to kill Dragonite. But I want to burn Chien-Pao as soon as possible. I'm actually going to Terra with Dragonite and try and get an extreme speed off, hoping that I'm probably not going to one-shot the Chien-Pao, but we'll see. Chien-Paos are usually focus sashed, but if we can get him down to sash and then burn him, oh, and he's fighting Terra. Usually they're Ghost Terra. But if we can get him down to sash and burn him, he'll be dead this turn, but we'll probably also lose Dragonite this turn as well. Which is unfortunate. And him being fighting Terra really makes me kind of nervous because he's just normal Terra. And I'm kind of wondering what kind of fighting move he has. Oh, he's not sashed. Okay. That is unusual. You're probably going to see a Venoshock come out of Glimmora. That would be my guess anyway. Earth Power. Okay. Sometimes hard to read Glimmora and what it wants to do. I know a lot of them do run Venoshock. I know, of course, Earth Power is really common, and so is Power Gem. Alright, here comes Goodra. I'm just going to double extreme speed onto Goodra. Just to get it out of here as fast as possible. Doesn't get the KO. Okay. So what kind of fun shenanigans are we in for? Wow, that didn't do a whole lot of damage to Dragonite. That's kind of surprising. Crit on Arcanine, that did not matter at all. Okay. We didn't get the accuracy drop, so that's great for us. Okay, I'm going to send in Azumarill to deal with the Glimmora. Going to go right in for a liquidation into Glimmora and another extreme speed into Goodra. Okay. Goodra goes back. Fluttermane, maybe? Cerulege. That was it. That was the ghost he had. So Cerulege comes in. Extreme speed does nothing. We're probably going to go down to poison. Mortal Spin's going to come out and do 1 damage, and that 1 damage might matter. Glimmora is out. I'm really hoping we survive this tick of poison on Dragonite, because I could really, really, really use extreme speed. We do. Excellent. Great. Perfect. And extreme speed is a +2 priority, whereas Shadow Sneak from Cerulege is only a +1, so we are definitely going to go first regardless. I'm not quite sure what Terra he's got going on. Probably Steel on Ceruledge. So we're going to go for a Liquidation into Ceruledge, and we are going to Extreme Speed into Goodra. And he doesn't Protect. Okay, kind of expected Goodra to have Protect. Usually it runs fairly defensive and really safe. Dragonite goes down this turn regardless to Poison, so that's totally fine. He did his job. Shadow Sneak comes out. Of course, doesn't affect Dragonite at all. And Liquidation comes out and totally murders Ceruledge. Oh, that's right, he couldn't Terra. Never mind. He Terra'd the Chen Pao that died immediately. Which was really surprising. I've almost never seen a non-sash Chen Pao just because of how delicate it is. I wouldn't say that it's suddenly come into the meta. It's definitely built up and is starting to ramp up in usage, definitely. Its ability to poison both foes at the same time and lay down spikes almost in the exact same turn, or toxic spikes in the exact same turn, is really, really good. Pair that with Venoshock, which does double damage to poison targets, and just its fairly high special attack in general. Venoshock, Earth Power, and Power Gem work really, 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 really well on Glamora. It's just really, really good, and it's a good lead to almost any team. I guess one of its biggest downside is that it's totally predictable on what it's going to do. Like, there are zero surprises coming out of Glamora. Unless you wanted to run something like really, really weird with its Terra or something. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah. And because of its rock type, it works well in like sand, it works well in sun, it works well in, well, probably not rain. But it just works well on so many different teams, and it's just a good spot to fill if you want something that's fairly sturdy and gonna do support work. Either laying down poison or laying down toxic spikes. Glamora is going to do that at least all in one turn. So I'm not super duper shocked that it's really rising in usage. I am kind of shocked that it's taking as long as it is, just because what it does really well and does what no other Pokemon can do. Like, it outclasses almost every other poison type in VGC right now by leaps and bounds. And it also gets Corrosion, which it used to be the signature ability of the sexy lizard lady. God, I'm forgetting names. It's been that kind of a day. But it gets Corrosion, so it can poison types and steel types. Kind of niche, but you kind of have to sacrifice Toxic Debris, its other ability, for Corrosion, which may or may not be worth it. Alright, so what we didn't want to see at all against this team was Gastrodon. Wo-Chien, Volcarona, Salamence, Fluttermane, Gastrodon, and King Gambit. Gastrodon basically just looks at Azumarill and just says, haha, no, don't do anything. So that really super duper limits what Azumarill can do. But I do notice that he has a Volcarona who probably is carrying Will-O-Wisp, and I could probably bait a Will-O-Wisp onto Azumarill and just kind of do a whole lot of damage to his team. So I'm actually going to lead with Azumarill and Amoonguss, just to kind of use Amoonguss to really control the situation if I have to. And we are going to bring Chen Pao in the back, and I think Well, he's got a really sturdy team with King Gambit. I'm gonna bring Fluttermane. Oh man, I really hope it doesn't take my first 4. That would really suck. I didn't lock in fast enough. If we start off with, what was our first 2? I think it was, Chien-Pao and... Okay, so it did take our picks. Good. Alright, so we do see a Volcarona lead, which is exactly what I wanted to see. I'm going to go for a... I'm actually going to Terra here, get rid of my Fairy type, and resist King Gambit over here. And we are going to go for a Spore into King Gambit. Hopefully he's not wearing safety goggles. Okay, he actually switches out. Probably going to see Wo-Chien. Yeah, so that Spore's not going to do anything. So we probably murdered our mushroom for no reason. Although on the plus side... Oh, and Grass Terra. Gross. So if we take a Terra Blast to the face on Azumarill, that's not going to be great for us. I'm not looking forward to that. So we'll just have to see how this goes. This could be a really disastrous turn for us because Amoonguss is going to be completely useless this turn. Or we're going to put... okay, Tailwinds. Okay, well, that's okay, I guess. Liquidation comes out. Volcarona's going to resist this. If it's bulk invested... Yeah, it's bulk invested. Definitely. Volcarona's not very sturdy on its own, but we got a burn. That is great for us, actually. Amoonguss goes for a Spore. It does nothing. Amoonguss is kind of in a bad spot because he's facing down 2 grass types that he really can't do anything about. Even Rage Powder won't do anything since grass types completely ignore Spore and Powder moves entirely. So I'm actually going to swap out Azumarill here and go, well... If I go into Chien-Pao, he's not going to resist anything. But I'm not really expecting a super amount of damage from either of them, except for maybe Volcarona, but it's probably not going to be a fire attack. I'm going to go for a Pollen Puff onto Azumarill's slot, assuming that Chien-Pao is going to take damage. Grass Terra Volcarona is actually a really good idea, because Volcarona is really, really vulnerable to, of course, water. So going Grass Terra, you'll resist that water attack like he just did. He totally resisted my my liquidation. Oh, wow, okay. Or we'll just immediately get murdered. Okay, great for us. The only thing that it doesn't really do is protect it from flying attacks, which is, I guess, going to happen to Volcarona regardless. But being immune to Spore is the biggest thing. If you can make yourself immune to Spore and Amoonguss, you're kind of sitting pretty in front of one. We're going to go for a Dazzling Gleam. And there's nothing I can do to keep it safe. Rage Powder, of course, is going to do nothing, so we're just going to go for a Pollen Puff into Wo-Chien. This is kind of a gross combo, though, with a Volcarona dealing damage and the Wo-Chien just exerting its special defense subtractive aura. It's really messy. But yeah, but like for Volcarona, I would say the um, top three Terra types that I would go for it are probably Grass, maybe Ghost, and the other is Fire, just to boost its fire attack. Interestingly, Pollen Puff is not considered a spore or a dust move, so it does affect grass types normally, which is kind of odd because you kind of think it would be considered a dust move or a powder move, I think is what the correct terminology is. Fluttermane definitely is not going to live here at all. But we are locked into... Oh, well, actually, I can Rage Powder now. Amoonguss is probably going to die, but we can definitely Rage Powder. But I think the Volcarona is just going to Heat Wave in and get the KO on both of us, regardless. And yeah, we both go down. Yeah, that first turn, that switch into Wo-Chien was very, very good. I probably should not have led with Amoonguss with any grass types on their team, because that was kind of an obvious thing to do, is to Spore immediately and just swap in for a grass type and make your Spore useless. So we are burned, so Play Rough, Liquidation, and Aqua Jet are all going to deal 50% damage because of that burn, except Facade. Facade actually doubles in damage because of that burn. So we're just going to go straight into Volcarona. Volcarona should go down with a single Facade. But I am worried about... okay, Intimidate comes out, so we lose a little bit of attack. Not a big deal. But King Gamut is going to be kind of a problem since it's going to resist Facade. I actually, just because of having Facade on my team, I actually kind of toyed with the idea of actually making Azumarill's Terra type normal. Just to do as much fuck you damage as possible. Like, oh man, you burned me? Well, I'm going to teach you a thing or two. I don't think King Gamut's going to have too much to do about... oh, Assurance. Okay, never mind. And it's a crit. Okay. See what I was talking about? Fuck you damage? That was fuck you damage. The way Assurance works is if you take damage in this turn, or took damage during this turn, Assurance does double damage. So we weren't living that. Even if we were Fairy type, I don't think we were going to live that. I am a little disappointed that this generation and Gen 8 was entirely and heavily and almost completely obsessed with just speed control. That's all you need. As long as you have speed control, you will win the game. And it was really problematic last generation with Dynamax, because almost everyone and their grandmother would Dynamax something flying and just use like a Gmax flying attack, and that would be it. That's it. They basically have a free Tailwind, plus dealing a horrific amount of damage, and I really, really hated that. Like, even Trick Room couldn't even hold up to it. Although I am thinking about, for our next week's stream, is putting together a Trick Room team. That is something that I really excelled at in Generation 5, 6, and 7. And I do kind of miss them. The biggest downside is that Trick Room teams tend to have fairly low damage because they have to be kind of tanky to set up Trick Room in that first turn. And if you don't get set up, man, Trick Room teams just kind of fall apart. So you either have to set up really, really well, or have a good amount of priority to make up for your garbage speed. It is kind of disappointing though that the best like Trick Room setter, why does this keep happening? Which is in DD right now, kind of got nerfed, sort of, in Ice Spinner, being able to destroy terrain. Before it was just Steel Roller that could do that, and almost nothing carried it last generation, which was kind of interesting to me because how prevalent it was to see like a grassy terrain, grassy glide Rillaboom. It was so much fun to just throw out a Clink Clang and just Steel Roller right on top of it and just yeah, that was actually really fun. But with Ice Spinner, and not needing terrain to be able to use the move, like you need terrain to use Steel Roller, really does shut down in DD's utility a lot, so you don't see it a lot anymore, especially now that we've got the Treasures of Ruin and having 4 extraordinarily powerful dark types. It really, 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 really hurt the psychic types, and in fact you almost don't see psychic at all in the meta in Reg C at all. Alright, so we've got screens, we've got maybe weather, and we've got Amoonguss. So we've got Grimmsnarl, Chi-Yu, Iron Bundle, Amoonguss, Great Tusk, and Ceruledge. Kind of interested to see what he leads with because he's got a bunch of interesting leads. The only ones that I don't think he's going to lead with are Great Tusk and Ceruledge, but the other 4 are perfect leads. Chi-Yu, just do as much damage as fast as possible. Grimmsnarl, set up screens. Iron Bundle to set down Icy Winds, and Amoonguss, of course, to spore the crap out of everything. I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to go in with Azumarill and Arcanine, hopefully get a Howl off like the team is supposed to do. We're going to bring Chien-Pao in the back. And I'm going to bring in... I'm going to bring in Dragonite, maybe to avoid some damage from Great Tusk, resist some damage from Ceruledge, that sort of thing. I think it would just do better than Fluttermane against this team. Has more advantages than Fluttermane against this team. Okay, Chi-Yu, Grimmsnarl. So we're probably going to see screens come out, or at least, if not screens, then a fake out. Although I'm not quite sure who he's going to fake out first, because we are both kind of threats to Chi-Yu. I could carry Snarl, which Chi-Yu does not want to eat a Snarl. But I am going to go... I'm not going to Terra right away. I'm going to go for a Liquidation, just do as much damage as I can to Chi-Yu. And I am going to... I'm just going to Howl, just to see what we can do. He's probably going to fake out. Yeah, fake out. On to Azumarill. Cool, okay. Dark Pulse comes out. Deals a very healthy amount of damage to Arcanine. Okay, we get the attack boost. Azumarill flinches, which is kind of okay. We're going to Aqua Jet into Chi-Yu. Now we know it's Life Orbed. This might actually kill Chi-Yu. And I'm going to protect on Arcanine. I want to get Chi-Yu out of here. Oh, Chi-Yu protect. Never mind. sets up screens the way he do. Do I have a screen destroyer on this team? I don't think I do. I do not. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and I guess I'm just gonna burn the Grimmsnarl. I guess I could go for Howl here too, but I think the Chew is gonna outspeed anyway. Oh, and we don't get the kill. Okay. Azumarill, what are you doing, babe? Honey. Alright. Dragonite, you're coming in. Now I do have a choice. Do I want to Terra Azumarill or do I want to Terra Dragonite? I guess it really depends on if he has Ceruledge. We're just gonna Aqua Jet into Chi-Yu, and we are going to... We're gonna low kick. Well, no. We're gonna extreme speed into Grimmsnarl. Okay, Chi-Yu just uses Protect again. That's totally fine. We're probably going to see a Spirit Break from Grimmsnarl. False Surrender. Okay. Don't really see False Surrender too terribly much. But we know we're going to get the KO here this turn. Out. Are we going to see a Ceruledge? Yes. Okay, so the extreme speed isn't going to go out. That's fine. I do expect the Ceruledge to Terra, though. I think what I'm going to do, though, is I'm going to go Terra Water on Azumarill. And we are going to go for a Liquidation into Ceruledge. Okay, and we are going to extreme speed into Grimmsnarl. Okay, Terra comes out. It's gonna be on Ceruledge. What is it? Grass. Okay. So the Terra Grass is just to protect it from water, specifically. And maybe Spore. So I think we're going to do a healthy amount of damage to the Ceruledge here, but we're definitely not going to KO. Out comes a Fake Out. Grimmsnarl out. That is kind of surprising that the Fake Out exceeded Extreme Speed. Actually, no, probably not. I think Fake Out is +3 and Extreme Speed's +2. Ooh, and it's got Terra Blast. Damn. I really wasn't expecting him to Terra, especially so soon, especially eating an Extreme Speed. I kind of figured he'd want to stick with Ghost for as long as possible to avoid the Extreme Speeds. So that is kind of surprising. All right, let's see what you got. And we see a Grit Test. That's okay, I guess. Okay, I am actually going to go for an Ice Spinner into Ceruledge. And we are going to Ice Spinner. Oh, that's right. So switch that up. I'm going to Ice Spinner into Great Tusk, and we are going to Extreme Speed into Ceruledge. I'm so used to my other Dragonite that is not Choice Banded. This one is. Close Combat comes out. We're going to go down to Sash. Does he double up? That's the important question. Bitterblade comes out, and he does double up, but that Bitterblade's only going to give him 1 HP back. Which is fine. We should get the KO on Ceruledge this turn, but I don't know that we're going to have... I don't know that we're going to have enough damage or enough PP to take out Great Tusk. But he did just lower his defenses, so maybe? Knockoff comes out. That actually kind of helps us. Without the Choice Band, I am free to use an Ice Spinner. So, actually, that helped out quite a bit. Again, super not impressed with Great Tusk at all. Like, that was not very much damage. I know it's just knockoff, but super not impressed with Great Tusk at all. Enemy teams or my team. I mean, if somebody wants to let me know how to properly use Great Tusk, I would love to learn, because I think it's a good Pokemon. It's well designed. It's got good moves. I just don't know why it just fails so bad. I am actually going to take a quick break here. I will be back in just a moment. See you soon. Alright, I am back. So we are going to continue with our Howlcanine Azumarill team. I think it's doing pretty well. We have, what, 2 wins, 1 loss with this team? But like I said at the beginning of the stream, I am getting really tired. So I'm probably only going to go for about an hour more, maybe 45 minutes. Just because I really want to lay down. But I am having a good time, so I'm here. I'm actually kind of looking forward to tomorrow and getting some shinies. Hopefully, if Mop is available, we will double up on that. But I'm not quite sure what I want to hunt. I got done finishing up these 2 teams kind of early in the day today. So I had a good chunk of time, so I was like, for shits and giggles, I was like, I'm going to go hunt Ditto, which is not a super easy hunt, and I got it in like the first 10 minutes. It was kind of ridiculous. So I was like, well, okay. Thought that was going to be a very long hunt. It was not. Alright, so we've got Murkrow, we've got Dragapult, Mousehold. I do like this team. This enemy team. No paradoxes, no legendaries. Golden Go and Hydreigon. Not quite sure what to expect out of this team. Probably going to see Murkrow coming out of the gate, and probably Dragapult, but we could also see anybody else. I don't expect him to lead Mousehold Murkrow, though. Not super expecting that. But we are going to go... yeah, we're going to go Howlcanine Azumarill. We are going to bring Fluttermane in the back, and I would like... Do I want to bring... His team is extremely high damage. Do I want to bring Tank, or do I want to bring Speed? I'm going to bring Speed. So we're going to get Chien-Pao in the back. Really, the only member of his team that I'm kind of leery about is the Mousgarada. Just because Flower Tip is just such a pain in the butt. Okay, so he leads exactly how I didn't think he was going to lead. Murkrow Mousehold. But we do get the attack drop on Mousehold, which is great because Population Bomb really is a pain. I do want to burn this Mousehold as soon as possible, so that is what I'm going to do. And he's probably going to Tailwind right away with Murkrow. So I don't think I'm going to outspeed the Mousehold. I think we're still going to get the Population Bomb, or at least the Beat Up, into Azumarill. So actually, I'm going to swap Azumarill. None of these really want to take a Population Bomb to the face. Let's go Fluttermane. Just in case it is Population Bomb, then we'll be immune to it. Oh, okay, Mousehold protects right away. So we don't get the burn on it, which is not great. And we're not going to be able to do any burns. So... So I'm going to swap out to Azumarill here. And we are going to Dazzling Gleam. Actually, I want to do maximum amount of damage here. So we are going to Terra Fluttermane here and Dazzling Gleam. I don't think he really has any good answers for Fluttermane here. Except maybe a beat up from Mousehold. I'm not too worried about the Mousehold with the Flutterman. Well, I guess I kind of screwed up by getting rid of our normal immunity, but I'm not impressed about it. So we see a Terra come out onto Mousehold. Mousehold goes normal, so we are going to see a population bomb, definitely. And out comes the Tailwind. And onto a Azumarill. That's 1, that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and out. I've actually not seen a population bomb that's unresisted not get a KO. Also, fun fact, population bomb is a slashing move, so Sharpness does actually boost its damage. I did not know that. I actually looked that up the other day, and I was just like, huh, that's weird. Apparently the original name in Japanese is something akin to like mouse scratch or like mouse slash or something like that, so that's why it gets it. Kind of interesting, I guess. I'm going to go into Chen Pao because I have Sucker Punch on it, and I kind of want to Sucker Punch this Mousehold to get it off the field. I don't want to take another Population Bomb, especially into Fluttermane. So we are going to Sucker Punch, and we are going to Dazzling Gleam. The Masquerade is probably still going to go first regardless, because he's got Tailwind and Masquerade is just Masquerade. But I don't think a Flower Trick is going to KO Fluttermane in one hit. I don't think so, but Fluttermane is fairly delicate. So we'll see. We'll see who he thinks is the bigger threat. He actually U-turns into Chen Pao. Chen Pao, even more delicate than Fluttermane. Goes down to Sash from a U-turn. That's actually kind of surprising. So who is Fluttermane going to Dazzling Gleam? Golden Go. Okay, Golden Go's going to resist this. It's kind of unfortunate. Yeah, not a whole lot of damage. He's probably special defense invested. I would give that. Oh look, Masquerada. I'm actually going to Protect here, just to kind of draw a little bit of attention away from Fluttermane, because he's probably going to Focus Fire into Chen Pao. And we are going to continue to Dazzling Gleam, because we are locked in with Choice Specs. Although we're probably going to see a Make It Rain from Golden Go. So it's kind of hard to tell what he's going to do. Is he going to go for Chen Pao and try and take it out, or is he going to go for... Oh, okay, Fluttermane goes down one hit from a Play Rough. Yikes. Okay, Make It Rain goes out. Doesn't do anything because Chen Pao things. And Howlcanine. I should get the KO if I go for a Sucker Punch onto Golden Go. Super effective hit on Golden Go because he can't Terra anymore. So that should take it out, and we are going to go... I'm going to go for a Will-O-Wisp onto Masquerada. It is Fairy type now, which isn't a big threat to Howlcanine. But I do want to reduce that damage, and then we're going to go for Extreme Speeds onto it. So we're probably going to take a Flower Trick or a Play Rough into Howlcanine. I'm thinking he's probably going to focus on the Howlcanine from Masquerada. Oh, a Protect. Okay, gross. I hate that. Well, hopefully we get a free burn. Maybe? Play Rough. Never mind. Okay, we get the burn on Strata, so that's kind of good for us. That'll shut down a little bit of its damage that is honestly ridiculous. Okay, Tailwind finally petered out. And I just realized I can't do anything to Golden Go. I can only burn it and hope that the burn kills it. So that's all I'm going to do. I'm going to burn it as soon as I can this turn. And then we're going to alternate extreme speeds and protects. Oh, that's right. Golden Go can't be burned. I actually can't win this. So we're just going to leave. Regardless, I can't win this because Howlcanine can't do damage to Golden Go in any way. Yes, okay. So that is unfortunate. I really didn't think of Golden Go when I built this Howlcanine, and Golden Go really shuts down this Howlcanine because it literally can't do anything to Golden Go. It can't burn it. It can't deal damage with extreme speed. It can do nothing. So that's unfortunate. I wonder though if I do rebuild this team, if Screamtail would be a better howler than Howlcanine, or at least maybe replace Great Tusk. Oh wait, no, Great Tusk isn't on this team. Never mind. Maybe replace Amoonguss with Screamtail and have it be the howler and put Snarl back on Howlcanine, maybe. At least then I would have more damage with Screamtail instead of Amoonguss. Although I built this Amoonguss a little bit differently. Most people go like full-on tank with Amoonguss, like 252 in HP and then the rest in special defense and defense. This one is actually a little bit invested in special attack. Originally, I had Giga Drain on this Amoonguss, but I did change it for this setup with Pollen Puff instead. I kind of missed the Giga Drain though because it made me really annoying. But with so many grass terras that we've seen tonight, it wouldn't have helped at all. Every time we've seen a grass terra, it has immediately shut down our Amoonguss and a Spore every single time. All right, so low kicks and Jumpluff, and okay, we're seeing a lot of off meta Pokemon. So we've got an Azumarill, a low kicks, King Gambit, Orthworm, Jumpluff, which is really shocking. Actually, I did see a video the other day with a Jumpluff support, Tailwind supporter. So that was kind of neat. And Bellybolt. Bellybolt is kind of a monster, especially for raids. It's decently tanky, and it can deal a crap ton of damage if it gets enough acid sprays off. Really good for raids. But I kind of wonder what he's going to lead. If he leads Bellybolt, we're going to have to probably work around that. But I'm going to start with our Asinine here. And he does have quite a lot to answer. I'm not going to bring Chimp out. I am going to bring Amoonguss in the back in case we do have to switch out. I can swap out to Amoonguss, and Amoonguss can eat quite a bit of damage. So, we'll see how this goes. I'm kind of interested to see what he leads with. Azumarill and Orthworm. Okay, so maybe the Azumarill has Earthquake? I don't think he can learn Earthquake. I know it can learn Bulldoze, so maybe that's what it's doing? Perhaps. think we're going to see a bulldoze. So I'm going to go in for a liquidation onto Earthworm. And I'm going to howl here. I think we're safe enough to howl. See a Terra come out onto Earthworm. Earthworm Terra's into fighting. So we're going to see a body press, definitely. So it's probably going to either Iron Defense, something, I guess. I'm not 100% sure. Iron Defense, okay. So we're going to see a body press probably next turn. That was a little ridiculous how fast it is, that it got moved before our Azumarill. That's a little crazy. I am going to go for a play rough. I don't think it's going to KO, just because how ungodly tanky, physically tanky Earthworm is, especially with a +2. But I'm going to Extreme Speed into Azumarill, if for nothing else, for no other reason than to just do as much damage as I can to it as soon as I can and break any sashes that I might have. I doubt that it has sash, just because Azumarill is naturally fairly tanky. Okay, he goes for another Iron Defense. That's horrifying. And that's gotta do nothing. And he's just gonna heal right back up with a Citrus Berry. So we're gonna see a body press here soon. I guess it's so weird that he invested in defense or in speed on this Earthworm. Actually, I'm gonna swap out to Dragonite here. Dragonite's gonna resist the body press, as well as reduce it with multi-scale. And I just need it to stay in long enough to... I'm going to Spore it. Long enough to deal a good amount of damage. I'm going to Spore Earthworm here, put it to sleep, and then if it stays in, Clear Smog it. Okay, his Azumarill also goes back out. In comes King Gambit. Black comes out. He goes into Amoonguss. Okay. Amoonguss just eats that right up. Puts the Earthworm to sleep. Okay. I'm gonna go for a low kick into King Gambit and get that quad damage off. And we are going to go for a Clear Smog into Earthworm. I don't think he's going to switch out because he wants to hold on to those that +4 defense that he's got going. But we're just going to get rid of those right now. So great that he decided to Terra into fighting, because that makes him no longer immune to Clear Smog. I think he could have played that better by staying a Steel type until he was ready to body press. Okay, I am actually going to Terra here and lose my... well, no, I'm not going to Terra here, because even if Azumarill does want to go in for a play rough, I should... Oh, that's right, Choice Band. Duh. Damn it. I keep forgetting that this isn't my Dragonite that I normally use. I I'm going to go for a Spore onto the Azumarill slot. So even if he switches back out, we should do something. Okay, Orthworm woke up. Orthworm uses Body Press. Not going to do as much damage as it did before because he doesn't have that +4 in defense anymore. Alright, that did a large amount of damage for a Dragonite with Multiscale. Definitely would have been a one-hit KO had it not been Multiscale. Okay, I am going to sacrifice. I wish I could Extreme Speed here, but of course I can't. But we're going to go for a low kick into Orthworm, get it off the field, and we are going to... Well, I could Rage Powder here and be fine. Actually, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Well, we're going to still low kick into Orthworm, and we're going to Rage Powder to draw that Play Rough into Amogus. Or Rage Powder. I think I said Spore. Not 100% sure. I don't know where I am. I'm tired. I had a long day. Okay, and Azumarill just stays asleep, so cool. Okay, out comes Bellibolt. That is A-okay. The thing we have to worry about Bellibolt now is that when you hit Bellibolt with an attack, it charges its next electric attack, which kind of sucks because usually that electric attack is Parabolic Charge, and it will just heal. So, not super hot. I am going to go for a Pollen Puff into Dragonite and see if I can't get it back up to... Okay. The Protect protects it. Azumarill woke up. I hate that. So our Pollen Puff does nothing. I kind of wish that, like, when you target the enemy and the enemy gets knocked out, it'll just default to targeting the other enemy. I kind of wish that it would do that when you target yourself, that it would just default on a random enemy. But, oh well. So out comes Azumarill looking into the barrel of an electric Bellibolt. I'm going to go ahead... I'm actually going to Terra here just to deal as much damage as I possibly can. And we are going to Liquidation into Bellibolt. And we are going to try and get a Spore on Bellibolt. Because I really don't want Bellibolt to do as much damage as I think it's going to do to Azumarill. Even though we are fairly tanky, we are Assault Vest, I still think Bellibolt is something to kind of worry about. I don't know if we won the speed tie or if there even was a speed tie. Okay, there's Electromorphosis. That's the attack that, or the ability that boosts electric attacks. And out comes Parabolic Charge, and that was a gross amount of damage. But he ends up murdering his own Azumarill. So, hooray. And he's about to take a nap. So, Bellibolt is asleep. Kind of surprised Amoonguss survived, to be honest. Okay, Liquidation. And I am going to go for a Pollen Puff onto Bellibolt because I just need to deal as much damage as fast as possible, as soon as possible, so it does not wake up. Ooh, was that a crit? Why did it deal so little damage the first time? And down goes the Bellibolt. That's so weird. Why did it deal so little damage the first time? I don't know. Weird Pokemon things. I think we did pretty good that fight. It probably could have gone a little bit better. I wasn't too careful with Arcanine, but oh well. But I don't think that was a good idea on his part to Terra Orthworm as soon as he did. Because that just let me know that, you know, I could clear Smog him quickly. Had he not Terra'd until he was about to Body Press, I would not have bothered even thinking about clear Smogging him. I would have just been like, Orthworms, Steel, clear Smog's not going to do anything. Oh, shucks. But, not quite sure what I'm going to do for next week. I usually do a good amount of my research, like, about the Sunday, Monday mark. But my husband wants me to build a team of my own creation around Vaporeon. Which is interesting because Vaporeon's not really used. But I do know that Vaporeon is a very reliable tank. And can learn Yawn, which is very useful. So I have a couple ideas, but I'm not too sure. I'll have to do some research to see where and how I could build the best team around a Vaporeon. Alright, so super meta team here. We have Palafin, Chi-Yu, Fluttermane, Iron Bundle, Arcanine, and Amoonguss. This is kind of... He looked at the top 10 and was like, what's 6 of the top 10? And just brought those. So that's what this team is. I am not too worried about anyone on his team. He's probably going to lead Chi-Yu Palafin. Swap out the Palafin and probably bring in Iron Bundle or Arcanine for the attack drop. Or even Amoonguss just to be a damage sponge. So I'm not going to lead Azumarill Arcanine here. I'm actually going to lead with Fluttermane, my own Amoonguss, and Arcanine in the back, and Chien-Pao. And with Fluttermane, I just want to do as much damage as I can, as fast as possible. So that's what we're going to do. We're just going to open up with some Dazzling Gleams, unless he's got something really weird. Okay, he opens with Iron Bundle. Actually, I really didn't want to see an Iron Bundle opener. Because he is going to immediately... Icy Wind. I'm going to Terra Fluttermane here and get rid of our Dark Weakness because I don't want to, or Dark Neutrality. I want to resist the incoming Dark Pulse from Chi-Yu. Gonna go for a Dazzling Gleam, and we are going to swap out Amoonguss actually. We're going to go into Arcanine to resist, just in case it is a Lava Plume or a Heat Wave. And also resist the Icy Wind. The Intimidate drop's really not going to do anything to these two, since they're special attackers. Alright. Go, Fluttermane. Dazzling Gleam to your heart's content. And it's a Freeze Strike. Never mind. Oh, we outspeed the Chi-Yu. Interesting. Oh, that was a Sash. I thought we just got lucky. Okay, Fluttermane takes a hideous amount of damage. I'm actually going to swap out Fluttermane because I don't want to take damage from Iron Bundle there. And we are... Well, I got Extreme Speed. Forgot about that. So we're going to Dazzling Gleam again. And we're just going to Extreme Speed onto Iron Bundle. Because we saw that we outspeed the Chi-Yu unless we Speed Tide, which would be weird. So this Dazzling Gleam should get the knockout on Chi-Yu. Okay. I am invested heavily into speed on Fluttermane, but I don't have the Photosynthesis boost, so I'm not used to it always outspeeding Chi-Yu. Sometimes Chi-Yu is Choice Scarfed, which outspeeds max invested Fluttermane, but I guess that one wasn't. And we see his own Fluttermane, so we're probably going to Speed Tide that Fluttermane. Oh, it's got Photosynthesis. This is probably going to boost its speed. Special attack. Okay, so we might outspeed. We might win the speed tie. So I'm actually just going to Dazzling Gleam again, because that's all we can really do. And I am actually going to Extreme Speed. Well, I can't really Extreme Speed. Actually going to Protect. Because if I don't win the speed tie, he's definitely going to Dazzling Gleam with his... Fluttermane. Okay, we get the Dazzling Gleam first, so we're going to do a good amount of damage, but we're definitely going to lose our Fluttermane here. Which is okay, because we did more than half of their Fluttermane's health. So, A-okay with that. Probably going to send out Chen Pao and go for the Sucker Punch. And that should take Fluttermane out. Not too worried about Howlcanine eating a spore because it has safety goggles. And if he puts Chen Pao to sleep, that's kind of okay because then it's just going to be down to Amoonguss. So not super worried. I'm going to go for Howl. Why not? I could have burned the Amoonguss, but that's really not going to get me anywhere if he's got Black Sludge or Leftovers. So Punch goes out. Fluttermane goes down. Interested to see what Amoonguss does here. Maybe a Pollen Puff? Spore. Okay. And he spored into Howlcanine. Howlcanine's safety goggles. Eat that spore right up. But he is now water type, so I can hit him with a Sacred Sword. And we can hit him with an Extreme Speed. Well, that did a fair amount of damage. Okay, he is Citrus Berried. In the long run of things, you'll get more use and more value out of Leftovers or Black Sludge. But Citrus Berry is also really, really strong on Amoonguss because you actually get a larger amount of health in a short battle than you would with the other two items. So that is kind of smart, but I typically, if I send my Amoonguss out, I really want to take advantage of kind of stalling a little bit and get that Black Sludge healing and Leftover healing going as long as I can. So I usually don't Citrus Berry my my Mushroom, but it is definitely a thing. And very, very annoying. Because usually the citrus berry is just enough to completely negate an entire attack on a Mungus. All right, do we make it to Ultra Ball tonight? That would be amazing. I think one more win and we make it to Ultra Ball. And if we do make it to Ultra Ball, I'm actually going to call it there because I want to leave on a high note and take a very good nap. Well, I'm probably going to go to sleep. Not really a nap if you nap for 8 hours. I've tried explaining that to Mop, but they don't understand. All right, come on. Let's see our next team. I should learn how to read Korean. Apparently it takes you like 15-20 minutes to learn how to read it. Of course, I'm not going to understand a thing what it says, but at least I know how to read it. All right, so we got maybe a Sun Trick Room team? Sun on Dondozo Tatsugiri? All right, not going to knock it. Especially with orangutan friend here. I'm not quite sure how he's gonna lead. I'm kind of expecting Torkoal to lead to set up Sun for whatever reason, or perhaps Gyarados. So I'm actually gonna lead with these two. I'm going to bring Amoonguss in the back for Dondozo and Tatsugiri. And I'm really not looking forward to any of them dealing a large amount of damage. So I'm actually going to bring in Fluttermane in the back just to kind of bait out maybe a fighting move from Iron Hands and Annihilate. As well as they definitely don't want to take a Specs boosted Dazzling Gleam to the face at all. So really interested to see what he leads with. Okay, Oranguru and Annihilate. They each boost if Dondozo eats the Tatsugiri and then uses a move called Order Up. The different colors or the different forms of Tatsugiri will cause Order Up to make a stat go up. I don't remember specifically which one does which, but I think it's attack, defense, and then speed, I think. I'm actually going to go for a Will-O-Wisp here and burn the monkey, and we are going... No, I don't want to tear. I don't want to lose my fairy resistance. But we are going to go for a play rough. Oh, final gambit. Okay. Interesting. I was not expecting a final gambit with an Oranguru out on the field. So Azumarill goes down. Will-O-Wisp goes out on the wrong target. But the difference between the Tatsugiri forms with just in relation to just Tatsugiri itself is absolutely nothing. They're just different colors. The different forms are specific to Dondozo mechanics. But we're going to enter that Trick Room with an Amoonguss. Amoonguss will do some work in Trick Room. If nothing else, we will stall it out. Okay, Torkoal comes out, sets up the Sun. Sure. And can't burn Torkoal. Extreme Speed's not going to do a whole lot to Torkoal. I'm going to go for a Howl here, just to boost my own attack. And I'm going to go for a Pollen Puff. Actually, nah. Yeah. I'm going to go for a Spore into Torkoal because I super don't want to eat an Eruption or Heat Wave or anything else into Amoonguss more than I have to. Torkoal comes out, is it fire? I bet it's fire. It is fire. So that Heat Wave, that Eruption, that Lava Plume is gonna hurt. Eruption. Okay. Yeah, Amoonguss is not gonna live that. Not in Sun, not with a Terra boost. And I am Terra Grass on Amoonguss, so even going Terra was not going to help me. And Instruct from Oranguru. Man, this sucks. I needed one more win to get to Ultra Ball, and I get this. I get Oranguru shenanigans. I know that Annihilate is fairly famous for its final gambit, and that's all it does. You basically just invest everything you have in speed and HP and final gambit, and you can just basically murder anything you want. But with Oranguru on there, I was not expecting it because I was expecting Oranguru to do Instruct. So I was expecting maybe a Rage Fist or a Drain Punch or even a Bulk Up and then Instruct to double it. Yeah, absolutely gross. And I bet that Oranguru, too, is just fully invested in defense and special defense, just to stay on the field long enough to put down Trick Room and hit Instruct on Torkoal. I bet that's its sole purpose. Even if he had been shut down with a Fake Out first turn, you still would have lost something with the final gambit from Annihilate, and maybe even still not been able to Fake Out. Well, you still would have been able to Fake Out, but you'd still lose something. And then next turn still bring in Torkoal and still Trick Room that team. Basically you just miss out on an Instruct double up for one turn, and that's it. That's all you miss out on. But we're going to do one more fight. I would like to end on a win, but it's not a requirement. This is going to be our last fight for the night, regardless. Believe me, I used to do the thing back in the day when I played Overwatch. Let's just keep going until we get one more win, and then it's already 4 a.m. I know that struggle. I've been there. Alright, so we have Tinglu, Chiyu, Annihilate, Amoonguss, Mousehold, and Fluttermane. Maybe gonna lead Mousehold, Annihilate? Maybe? Or maybe Tinglu, Chiyu? He's got a lot of options to lead, so it's kind of hard to tell what he's gonna do. The only thing that I would be afraid of is if he leads with Amoonguss. I would be boned to lead with Azunine. But I'm going to bring as much damage and as much priority as I can. Well, I'm not going to bring you because your extreme speed will not do great with 2 ghosts on the team, possibly 3 ghosts if Chiyu, Tinglu, or Mousehold Terra into Ghost, which they sometimes do. So, probably not a great thing to bring extreme speed. I mean, our Howlcanine has it, but our Howlcanine does other things other than just be an extreme speed bot. Dragonite is kind of a one-trick Terra normal extreme speed, do damage. Oh, that's about it. Unless you're Terra flying, then you do everything. Okay, so we see Mousehold Gambit, or not Gambit, Annihilate. Wow. He's probably going to beat up onto the Annihilate, and the Annihilate's going to get the Rage Fist bonuses. That's what I'm thinking. So I'm going to burn the Annihilate, and we are going to Terra, and we are going to Liquidation into Mousehold. And it's probably going to go down to Sash, if it is Sash. If it's not, then it's going to go down. But I do believe that it will outspeed, so it will get the Population Bomb, or not the Population Bomb, the beat up onto Annihilate. I mean, it could be Ring Target Annihilate. That was a thing early on, people did. I do know that we lose our Fairy type, but I'm not expecting him to use a Fighting type against Azumarill right away. I am expecting Rage Fist instead, so it wouldn't matter if we're Fairy or not. But we do get the burn first, so great. Okay, we see a beat up to get that Rage Fist bonus going ASAP. Hit 3 times. Okay, so it's not as bad. Oh, and he bulks up. Gross. So that Rage Fist is going to hurt a lot when he actually gets it out. Okay, Liquidation onto Mousehold. And, well, don't know if it's Sash. Doesn't matter. I'm going to Aqua Jet into Mousehold this next turn to get rid of it. Or should I Aqua Jet into Annihilate? I really don't want it boosting the Annihilate even more than it already is. Well, okay, let's Extreme Speed onto Mousehold. And we will Liquidation into Annihilate. Kind of hoping he goes for Howlcanine instead of Azumarill, but he's probably smart enough to know that Azumarill has huge power and that Azumarill is kind of my threat here. So this is going to hurt a lot. I would be surprised if it doesn't KO. Okay, yeah. Down goes the Howlcanine. Glad we Extreme Speeded. Here comes Liquidation. Let's see if we get the defense drop from that bulk up and take that bulk up down a notch. We do. Excellent. Kind of not great to get its Defiant to proc, but again, what are we going to do? It's already taken so many hits, and Rage Fist is already probably base power like 180 at this point. I'm going to go in with Fluttermane, though. We should outspeed with Fluttermane unless he's got like Shadow Sneak or some nonsense. Which would kind of suck after that attack boost. And we are going to go for a Dazzling Gleam. That should get the KO on Annihilate, assuming that he doesn't have any priority. And I bet he's going to try and put me to sleep. I'm going to go for the Play Rough on Annihilate. Again, he's probably going to focus. Oh, he's going to protect me. So he is going to put someone to sleep. Probably Fluttermane. Good amount of damage on Amoonguss, especially for a resisted hit. Oh, it's a crit. Okay. So who does Amoonguss put to sleep? Fluttermane. Okay. I'm thinking I'm gonna swap to Chen Pao here. My reasoning for that is that Chen Pao can at least take the hit and go down to Sash, and then I can Sucker Punch the next turn and get some damage out on Annihilate, and then also Aqua Jet into Annihilate next turn as well. Assuming he doesn't put me to sleep. I'm going to go for another Play Rough while we switch out. Again, I don't think I'm going to win this game. the Mousehold Annihilate is just, it's really, 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 really effective if you cannot remove that Annihilate as soon as possible. And I thought burning it would be enough to at least... Oh, he's got Drain Punch. Okay. That's extremely annoying. Okay, he goes down. Never mind. Humongous Spore. Azumarill takes a nap. That's okay. If nothing else, he probably won't have the damage to take out Azumarill. Well, probably. He's gonna probably Dazzling Gleam here. But I am gonna go for a Sucker Punch onto Fluttermane and deal as much damage as possible. Gonna hope for the turn 1 Wake Up, and we're gonna Aqua Jet into Fluttermane as well. Okay, he's gonna Terra, probably Fairy, to get rid of that. Oh, he's gonna Terra Amoonguss into water. Sure. That kind of helps us, because then if we can get rid of his Fluttermane, he's probably not going to have enough damage from Amoonguss to really be a threat to Fluttermane, our Fluttermane. And we can just Dazzling Gleam. We can stay asleep for as long as it takes. Okay, we don't get the Wake Up. And he's forced. Okay, so we are double asleep, which isn't great and very annoying. Again, gonna hope for the turn 1 Wake Up. We are going to Sucker Punch and Dazzling Gleam because that's all we can do. And we just suffer being asleep. His Fluttermane's probably just going to Shadow Ball onto our Fluttermane, and he's going to Dazzling Gleam. Okay. We hold on with Sash, so we get at least one more round, hopefully. Okay, he's going to Call and Puff. Okay. Super hoping we wake up this turn. Doubt it. It'd be great if Chien-Pao wakes up and gets a crit with its Sucker Punch. That would be... Chien-Pao wakes up. Do you get a crit? How? 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 I hate this game. Fluttermane goes down, and all he has to do is Pollen Puff onto Chien-Pao and win. Well... It lived on 1 HP. That's extremely annoying. We probably would have won that had we got the kill on that Fluttermane. So much fun, this game. Okay, well, that's it. I am gonna go for the night. I am really tired. I really do want to get to bed. I did really enjoy... the Arcanine Azumarill team. There were some instances, though, where I wasn't doing as much damage as I thought I could be doing with Azumarill. With huge power, Terra, and even a Howl, I kind of expected to get one-hit KOs, even on resisted hits, and I just wasn't. And I'm pretty sure... I'm pretty sure I'm fully invested in attack. Yeah, I am fully invested in attack. So it's kind of surprising that Azumarill just doesn't have the base stats enough to really take out targets, even with all the boosts in the world. The only thing it didn't have is Rain. So that's kind of disappointing. Maybe it could shine on a Rain team. So I don't know. Extremely disappointed in the Dachsbun team, though. Like I said, anytime I fight a Dachsbun, I lose. Doesn't matter what I'm doing, who I'm fighting, who I bring, what the team comp is. Dachsbun shows up, it's an instant lose condition. It did suffer that the majority of the teams that we fought starting out all had really powerful water types on their teams that would have just murdered Chi-Yu immediately with priority moves. Like, if it was just like a Dawn Dozo, even like a Surf Dozo or a Waterfall or Wave Crash Dozo, that would have been okay, because Chi-Yu could at least get a Lava Plume off, deal a good amount of damage, and then go away. But no, it was priority water type users and a rain team, like right out the gate, like just shit all over Chi-Yu. So it really didn't have an opportunity to shine, and when it never really had an opportunity to shine at all, but even when it was kind of a neutral matchup, it still didn't do very well. And I wasn't really impressed with the amount of damage that it did not do. And I think Breloom just doesn't cut it. It just doesn't do as much damage. It's just not fast enough. It kind of suffers from Amoonguss just being a better spore setter than Breloom. Breloom's not fast enough, and it's not slow enough, because it can't shine in a Trick Room, and it just doesn't do as much damage as it can. Great Tusk. After tonight, I'm probably never going to invest in a Great Tusk again. I've never been impressed with it on enemy teams, and I've never been impressed with it on my team. Really, no matter what it does, it is completely and utterly unimpressive. And then that team also had a Grimmsnarl on it, who famously just does not do damage. He's just there to set up screens and fake out and then peace. So that team really did suffer from 0 damage. Chi-Yu is basically the only source of damage on that team. But at least with the Azu Arcanine team, we had quite a bit of damage dealers on it and could do, an appreciable amount of damage with more than just one Pokemon. So, Dachsbun or Dachsbun goes into the fire where it belongs, and we might actually use the Howl Azumarill team again. But I'll probably make a few tweaks to it. I'll probably put it on a rain team, because I think Azumarill would benefit from just a little bit more boost from the rain. I don't think everybody's so used to seeing Dachsbun. Dachsbun is incredibly annoying to try and get rid of, because it naturally has a fairly high special defense. Not so much a very high defense, though, which really works in its favor, because as soon as it gets hit with a fire move, it gets +2 to defense. So if you fully invest in like HP or attack and then special defense, it gets super duper tanky, and you can just body press for days with it. But you absolutely need that +2 to really be effective with it. And we just never really had a good opportunity to do that, because the enemy team always had either rain to shut down our lava plume from Chi-Yu, or a water priority user like Palafin to just either one-shot Chi-Yu or at least shut it down very quickly and deny Dachsbun the +2, which Dachsbun absolutely needs that +2 to really thrive. Otherwise, it's really not going to do much. It really needs that +2 to rely on its damage for body press. It needs that +2 to keep it safe and keep it alive. It just wasn't great. And because body press is also a fighting move, if they just swap in a ghost type, that's it. Dachsbun just can't function. So if they have pretty much any ghost type that they can swap to and a priority water user, that whole team dynamic just falls apart. It just doesn't work. And it didn't really have, if it had the damage to we could have just pivoted and taken Dachsbun out and put our huge damage dealer. Like if we had Fluttermane on that team, take out Dachsbun, put in Fluttermane, Dazzling Gleam, deal as much damage as possible. Chi-Yu is still going to do what Chi-Yu does best. Even if there was rain up, at least Chi-Yu can then pivot and do Dark Pulse. But it just never really worked out that way, and yeah, it just didn't work. I might bring back Chi-Yu Dachsbun with a completely different team set, with more competent damage dealers, and get Great Tusk the fuck off the team because it is truly a garbage Pokemon. And just a little bit more damage. Talonflame and Grimmsnarl just really were not cutting it, and Breloom was kind of a disappointment as well. As far as damage goes, I kind of figured putting Loaded Dice with Technician on it would hurt a lot more, probably hurt a lot more than Brute Bonnet, but that really wasn't the case. It actually did probably less damage than Brute Bonnet, which is really surprising with a Technician boost, but whatever. I will do some research tonight and see what I'm going to bring next week. Next week is probably going to be one team based on another PokeTuber, and then the other team, it might be a total creation of my own based around Vaporeon because my husband requested it. But I'll do a little research and see if I can't find anybody with an actual Vaporeon build for Regulation C and run with that, if I like the team. Otherwise, I'll just build one entirely around Vaporeon. But, yeah. I'll probably do a little bit more research on Vaporeon, see where it really shines this generation. I'm used to Vaporeon just being kind of a Wish Yawn tank, essentially. So very, very supporty and tanky, and not really spectacular in any other fashion. Losing Scald really, really super duper hurt Vaporeon, because now it really can't do effective damage. I think probably its best damage dealing move is probably going to be Hydro Pump, which sucks because Hydro Pump misses all the time. But we'll figure it out. Alrighty, thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys tomorrow, hopefully with Mop. I haven't got in touch with them to see if they're available tomorrow. But I will also put together a game plan for what we're going to hunt tomorrow as well. But I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.